Rock and roll or what?
Hey
What's up?
man, yeah. What's up, Junkies? It's your boy Kenshiro. Welcome back to Culture Junkies Live, the most popular. Well, I think it's the most popular geek live podcast that in America today. Just having a little chat with Marcus and his lady. She got jokes. I have to say, and they're not very funny. But anyway, we welcome you guys back. It's been a week off since that we took off for 4th of July. I hope you guys are rested, happy, healthy, and ready to get jump back into all things geek and nerdy. Today we're going to talk about recap of Ant-Man and the Wasp and a few other interesting things that we found, like 17 rules that Marvel actors must follow as directed by Disney. But let me bring who's going to be on the show with me today, the aforementioned Super Nerd Plus. How you doing, fam?
Hey, what's up, everybody? Super Nerd Plus is here. Let's get it going. Yeah, I said it wrong. Shut up. She up there looking at me. She up there
right?
looking at me crazy.
The great Daddy Kuji's checking in. What's up, man?
What up, though? Video game, anime, movie, and all those nerdy fam. What's going on? That's a Wii U Pro controller, just so you know.
Right. And last but not least, Mr. GQ, how you doing, sir?
Doing well. It's be an interesting show tonight, so all for it.
Indeed it will. What did everybody do for the 4th? Everybody cook out, do some fireworks, anything like that?
Work.
Really? Just work?
Oh, wait. We did something. We did do something. I forgot. We went and got the issue number 50 of Batman Tuesday night, which was and lead up to the next day. So that was
man. It was actually kind of packed, man. Yeah, it was kind of fun. I have to admit, it was really packed. It was packed. It was a lot of fun.
And I spent like some money because I was like, shit, there's a bunch of the books.
Yeah, you did.
Too. Yeah.
This dude dropped like $80 on comics that day.
No, it was.
Yeah,
like
it was.
60.
Oh, excuse me. It was just 60. It was just 60, man. Damn, comics is an expensive hobby, dog.
Yeah, it is, man. That $4.99 is a damn meal at McDonald's, man. Shit.
You ain't never lied, man. You ain't never lied, though.
That's more than a pack of Cool. Shit.
Right.
Bro,
you don't smoke.
Cool.
Yeah, you don't even smoke, dog.
I know, but that price is high, though. Shit, no nicotine fiends out there. Y'all know. Shout out to y'all.
I think a pack is like, what, $7 now or something?
Right.
Yeah.
Damn near $8. That's a value meal, damn near.
Right.
Shout out to all the people who smoke cigarettes and drink Diet Pepsi like it's gonna help them out.
I want 5 Big Macs and some Diet Pepsi.
Yeah, that's really gonna save your life. Yeah.
I know, right? So Dido, did you do anything for Thanksgiving?
I put Thanksgiving. You mean 4th of July?
Damn.
Yo,
Damn.
You jumping ahead.
Damn. My bad. I'm sorry. Did you do anything for the 4th of July? My bad. Dang. What'd you do, man?
I sat my ass at home and I played some Bloodborne. And for all you junkies out there, the great Daddy Kuji, that is me, is playing Bloodborne. Right now it's on Facebook, on the Culture Junkies page. You can tune in, have a chat with me while I kick some beasts' ass. Pumping some bloods. Pumping them.
I'm not gonna lie, that game looked hella fun. That's that hard ass game.
It is fucking hard as shit.
Yeah.
But if you were watching last night, there was a boss where you had to fight 3 dudes at one time. And I managed to do it without dying once. And I'm like, shit, am I getting good? Maybe, because that's the second boss that I beat without dying. Junkies out there.
Yo. All right. Little echo back there.
Well, somebody's like watching the show. Yeah, somebody's watching the show without turning that mic down. Yeah, Fallen Marvel, I'm sorry. That was my slip. I ain't mean to say Thanksgiving. I'm sorry. GQ, what'd you do for your 4th? How'd you enjoy your break?
The same way I always do it, taking over the world.
How did I know he was gonna say? Yeah, I had a feeling he was gonna say that. No, for real. What'd you do?
Didn't do anything. It was nothing to do. 4th of July means nothing to me now.
Yeah, he ain't got kids and he don't want to burn money like that.
Exactly. That's literally burning money. You're setting it on fire and watching it explode.
Woo! Pretty lights and fireworks. Ooh, yeah. Exactly. Yeah, no. Yeah, not a big deal.
Put that money towards a video game or a movie.
Right. So anyway, man, we only got like we got like the kind of a captive audience we got out there right now, but no big deal. We still gonna rock it. We got the fix to get to today. Obviously no LGZ, it's gonna be me again. So if you're watching the replay, here's your fix for the week of July the 9th. And so, first things first. Yep, you see that picture on the screen, right? People have been asking, I mean, literally asking, for Broly to be included in Dragon Ball canon. And, you know, the series is absolutely known for rabid fans that concoct their, you know, fantasy matchups and stuff like that. But the news dropped yesterday that, you know, the upcoming Dragon Ball Super film is going to be starring Broly. He's going to be the main villain in the film. A lot of people thought it was going to be, you know, it wasn't for real. You know, it was another one of them fake things. And I'll admit, I was one of them. But Akira Toriyama released his statement that the news was indeed the truth. Fans of the legendary Super Saiyan have been begging for him to be introduced in official Dragon Ball canon for going on like 20-25 years now. And now they'll finally get their wish. Details and a new trailer will be forthcoming soon, probably at next week's Comic-Con in San Diego. So stay tuned for that. Next, speaking of San Diego Comic-Con, the rumors are going around that we'll finally lay eyes on WB's closely guarded Aquaman film next week. The trailer will apparently focus on Ocean Master very heavily, who's the main villain, along with Mira, Amber Heard's Mira. Man, she really filled out that suit, didn't she? Anyway, the fans of Black Manta probably are going to be disappointed to hear that you won't see much of him, but at least, you know, at least we should finally get a good feel for how the film will be tone-wise. A lot is riding on Aquaman being a successful film and could shift things concerning the DCEU once again after the poorly received Justice League failed to deliver on very lofty goals. To say this is one of the more anticipated trailers of the year is an understatement. And who thought you'd ever say that about a film starring Aquaman? In other news, this week, either Lucasfilm are gluttons for punishment or they really actually have a plan this time, because it was revealed that Billy D. Williams will be reprising his role as Lando Calrissian in Episode 9 next year. After Solo was hammered at the box office, despite the well-received performance of Donald Glover as young Lando, one has to wonder if Lucasfilm might be playing with fire here. A few weeks back, we addressed toxic fandom in Star Wars on this very show, and those same fans are most likely rabidly chomping at the bit to attack any missteps here. How Lando fits into the story, of course, remains to be seen, but I, for one, relish the thought of Williams slipping on Lando's cape one last time. And in some exciting news over on Instagram, the bad motherfucker himself took to Instagram today to tease his return as Nick Fury in a sequence of photos that showed Fury's S.H.I.E.L.D. business card, his signature goatee, and his eye patch along with his eye scars. He's teasing his return as the head of S.H.I.E.L.D., and the only Marvel film currently in production right now is Spider-Man Far From Home. What this tells us is a very important detail actually about Avengers 4 post-MCU. S.H.I.E.L.D. will be restored to its former glory if Nick Fury is once again the head honcho. This will certainly have ramifications felt all across the MCU, much like S.H.I.E.L.D.'s destruction in Captain America: The Winter Soldier. The other thing to be gleaned from this is that Spider-Man's MCU counterpart may be treated somewhat like the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon iteration with his interaction with the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. More on that later. But speaking of Spider-Man, we of course couldn't go without mentioning the passing of a comic book legend. The co-creator of Marvel Comics characters Spider-Man and Doctor Strange passed away over the weekend. Army veteran Steve Ditko was found dead in his apartment Monday morning and leaves a rich history of comic book work and lasting memories. Ditko got his love of comics from his father and grew up reading Batman comics as a young man before enlisting in the Army during World War II. Ditko shunned the spotlight almost completely and preferred the quiet life despite creating many of the household names we enjoy today. The comic book industry and culture junkies around the world mourn his passing. All right, we're kind of light on releases for this week. out this week is Superman #1. Also Transformers Unicron #1 and Amazing Spider-Man #1 in comics. And over in movies, Hotel Transylvania 3 if you have a bunch of young kids and you want to take them to see that. But we also have The Rock's latest movie Skyscraper, which I'm sure, despite all measures to the contrary, will probably do pretty well at the box office. And that's your fix for the week of July the 9th. So what you think, guys, of all the news that came out of there?
Very, very good.
Well, all that stuff sounds pretty interesting. You know, rest in peace, Steve Ditko. You gave us some great stuff.
Absolutely.
Speaking of, gosh darn it, I had it in my head and the thought was there, and it slowly drained like the old person right down the drain. Oh gosh, you just said something just came out, and it was coming out.
Skyscraper?
Oh, that Skyscraper.
Hotel Transylvania?
No, comic books.
Oh, I know. Transformers Unicron. Yeah, Transformers Unicron. Yeah.
Speaking of Transformers.
Yeah.
All right. Not too much long ago. Like, I don't read the Transformers comics. Pretty sure they're really good. But I just got up on Transformers Power of the Primes, which is a Transformers show. Right now, they're shorts, like 10-minute shorts. You know, all 10 episodes, about 100 minutes long or what have you. But my goodness, people need to be up on this because I know there's a lot of old heads like us that love Transformers the movie, and they liked it a lot because of some of the deaths that happened in it. Because Transformers movie, as much as you like it, as much as there was nostalgia for it, wasn't very good movie wise. Now I can take a lot of blast for it. I don't give a shit. You got your nostalgia goggles on. It was good for what it was. But this right here, if you want to see Transformers dying, man, friggin' Rodimus Prime, aka Hot Rod, aka in this series, Rodimus Kron, has the
Rodimus what?
Kron, like Unicron, Rodimus Kron. He is a he has the Matrix of
leadership.
I forget what they call it, but what was it called?
The Matrix of leadership?
No. He has the evil
destruction.
He has the Matrix of destruction, and he is wrecking shop. He blew a hole. He blew a hole in Devastator's chest. Big ass.
No,
hole.
not my dude Devastator.
He killed Devastator. He killed Superior. He killed friggin'
what?
He killed friggin' Minosaur. They friggin' there's this other female combiner that I'm not really too sure of. She's in the comic books or her name is Victorion. Victorion.
Yeah.
She's a combiner. Snapped her head clean off. Grabbed her by the neck. Was holding her up. Was like pop the head off. I was like, fucking shit.
Yo, this sounds pretty interesting, man.
It's on YouTube right now. It's produced by Machinima, from my understanding. Like I said, there's 10 episodes. They're all about 10 minutes long. And apparently they killed Optimus Prime in the previous series because it's a 3-parter trilogy series.
They killed Optimus?
They killed Optimus. But get this. Apparently Optimus Prime and Optimus Primal are not the same person. Who knew? People who watch Beast Wars. Apparently.
I think they kind of I think they revealed that in Beast Wars like a long time ago, didn't they?
Yeah. Well, I guess they did because he showed up in there. Megatron is actually, I won't say he's the good guy, but he's on the side.
He's not a Decepticon anymore, right? I think that was the thing. Yeah.
It's not even Decepticons and Autobots anymore. It's kind of like you got this guy out there who calls himself Megatronus, and he just wants to kill everybody. Period. And Megatron's not having that. So he's with the people that's trying to fucking stop that shit. The fucking what do you call it? The Dinobots are a freaking combiner now, and they combined it to something called Volcanus. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? They killed Slag in here. They fucking killed Slag. I'm like,
was he your favorite Dinobot? Was he your favorite Dinobot?
It's just surprising to me to see these freaking Autobots. I mean, it was surprising when we first saw it in the movie back all those years ago, and it was surprising when you kill Optimus Prime. Of course, we were all kids, and all you motherfuckers shed a tear. You know you did, because I sure definitely did. And you're starting to see like that again. It's like the stuff that we want in Transformers is happening, and I'm like, why did they make this Power of the Primes for this cartoon, a 10-minute cartoon? This is the scripts that should have been in the Michael Bay movies. minus the Michael Bay.
Man, no, man. I don't even want to hear that. I'm so over the Michael Bay movies. Yeah, man.
These are
I hear you.
That should have been. These are the scripts that should have been. These are the stuff that should have been
we
going
don't
on.
speak that name. We don't speak of the name like the
who
director of the X-Men movies.
Yeah, man. I don't even want to hear that, man.
I don't understand. I don't think you guys understand what I'm saying. These should have been the live action movies. Not these cartoons for 10 minutes.
I hear you.
Death, destruction, friggin' G1 Autobots, and friggin' awesomeness. God darn it. Why didn't they put together cats and dogs living together? Yeah,
what was that?
I mean, like,
said it's hard to sell toys if you're constantly killing them off.
Hey,
absolutely.
No. You can sell those toys, and when you bring in the new Transformers, there's more toys to sell. I mean, there's so many guys out there.
Runs.
Yeah, I never heard of Overlord. You guys ever hear Overlord? This is a Transformer that's in there. He's working with, I think he got killed by Megatron because this is some shit. Perceptor is in this thing, and you know Perceptor, he ain't, he's a scientist, whatever, and they got this gun. Forget the name of the gun that Optimus Primal was protecting for millennia. He doesn't even know how long he was protecting it. But he gives him the gun. Protector, whatever the hell his name is. I just said his name. He had the gun, and Overlord is like, he's like, oh, you don't have the ball. He basically said you don't have the balls to pull the trigger, right? And Megatron was on the ground, put his gun in his face, shot him dead in the face. And later on, Megatron gets this gun, and when he fires it, it left nothing. It was like Dragon Ball Z just caved out fucking just for miles and nothing. Like, this guy doesn't exist anymore because Megatron does have the balls to fucking pull that trigger. And he did. And I'm assuming the guy is dead.
Yeah, Megatron's always been that dude.
He's always been that guy.
Yeah, he's even better than that guy. God, this series, watch it. I recommend it highly. If you call yourself a Transformers fan, if you call yourself somebody who's pissed off at Michael Bay, if you call yourself somebody that got your nostalgia glasses on too fucking tight, you watch this freaking series, you won't be disappointed.
Well, I want to say what's up to Josh, Mike, James, L, everybody in the chat. Yeah, so throw that out there.
Everybody's joining us on Facebook right now. We appreciate you guys tuning in. I know we had our week off, and it's been a long time since we seems like it's been forever. Honestly, man, when we had our week off, dude, I almost didn't know what to do with myself because it was like I literally felt like this hole in my life. Like, I had so much free time, but it was like I didn't spend it doing. I had much more fun doing the show than I did, not doing the show. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's like I literally felt the void of not doing the show. Anyway, guys, obviously last weekend, Ant-Man and the Wasp came out. We're gonna go ahead and start talking about our feelings about that. So, first of all, was it better than the first film to you guys? What'd you think of Ant-Man and the Wasp, and was it better than the first film?
I really enjoyed it. I'm not gonna lie. I sat there and I was like, damn, I really enjoyed this movie. Is it better than the first one? I think it's right up there with right neck to neck. As far as I say, it's better because it has more action in it. Other than that, as far as the dialogue and the storylines, I think they're neck and neck. But I really, really enjoyed everybody's characters. Of course, Louise. Everybody loves Louise now. He's a star of his own. Was over explaining things, but I overall think this is a solid film, a very solid film. And in fact, they brought in Bill Foster. It was really cool how they did it, how they did his character in here.
I like how they brought back Young Furious Styles. That was awesome.
Yo, that's exactly what I said. That's exactly what I said. I was like, this Furious Styles up in here, dog.
Hey, that's the first thing I thought about too. I said, wait, is this Lawrence Fishburne from Boys in the Hood?
Yeah, young looking, but he still had that weight on him. I don't know why they didn't try to he still had this old weight on him, because I just went back and watched freaking Event Horizon. As you know, Lawrence Fishburne was in Event Horizon, and that was 2 years before The Matrix. And you remember how he was in The Matrix. He was pretty fit in The Matrix, and he gained some 20 years worth of weight. I mean, it happens to all of us, unfortunately, or a lot of us.
At the same time, though, Ghost's character was probably only about, 8, 9, maybe 10 at the time. So you're only talking about 8 years worth of change. So
I guess so. Then they shouldn't have freaking had to mean, nobody. Okay, whatever.
They widened that gap in his teeth, man. So they went back to his.
That was him back in freaking Boys in the Hood, most definitely.
Yep.
But
so
yeah,
like I said, I mean, I'll give them props for them doing the de-aging of different characters. They do a good job with it for the most part.
True.
I like this one more than the first one, to be honest, because the first one, full disclosure, Ant-Man was never a character I cared about. It was never like Hank Pym and all that. I didn't care like whether or not they use Hank Pym, Scott Lang, whoever. It was just, okay, you got a guy that can shrink and get big, and boom, that's his whole shtick. And it's like, I like how they were using the shrinking mechanics and the size mechanics and everything in this film, because they basically weaponized it more, because you had Hope doing most of it, and she's already, obviously been working with it for years. And she is obviously a better fighter than Scott and all that other sort of thing. So it's like, it was cool to see all the various things that you could do with it with somebody that has skills and has training and thinks that way. So I definitely enjoyed that. And I also like the fact that Luis had one extended story. It wasn't a whole bunch of them. So it was like, you were waiting for that moment because you knew they was going to do it.
Yes, dude.
Dude, I clapped.
Yes,
I was like, yeah, I want to see that. I enjoyed that part.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, like you said,
fun.
The dynamics of the shrinking and going big was really, really done well. Like, I really like how that's really how it felt like a science fiction movie. Like, it felt like one of those old school science fiction films to me, and that's what I think, because that's what Marvel was from the beginning. It was science fiction. It was a little bit of horror, cosmic. Yeah, that was put in there perfectly when they went into the subatomic particles and the Pym particles. It was done well with that. Like, I like seeing that whole science fiction element put to use properly. And to me, I felt like it was more of the Wasp movie than Ant-Man movie, because she was doing majority of the action.
She was wrecking shop. Man.
She was wrecking shop big time, and I applaud her for doing an excellent job as I can't say her name.
Evangeline Lilly.
Yeah,
Evangeline Lilly.
Awesome. Yeah, she did an awesome job.
I know there's probably a lot of neckbeards out there that are gonna be all up in their feelings because Hope was a much better fighter. Like, she was a much better hero all around than Scott was. Like, she had almost all of the shine. Like, literally all of it was on her. Like, from the beginning of the movie to the end of the movie. It was like, yeah, Scott was Ant-Man, but it was like more incidental, and he was playing her sidekick, instead of the other way around.
Right.
At least that's what it seemed like.
They wrote it that way too, because first off, you saw she had the powers. I won't say powers, but she had more skill in the first movie because she was training him. But second off, he kind of didn't want to be out of the house. I mean, sorry for all these guys out there. The spoiler, I'm probably not going to give away too much stuff. I mean, there's only one spoiler in the movie, and that's the extra credit scene. Everything else is kind of like it just happened. And he just kind of didn't really want to be out of the house because he was really reluctant for everything. So,
I mean, like, you think about it, though, would you make that in his shoes? Would you make that decision? Like, if you don't get this correctly and you just wasted your time, and you could be doing 20 years, that's something you really got.
No, yeah, I hear you, and I think they did a really good job. It did a really good job of raising the stakes for him to, like, say, okay, I'm kind of really torn. I feel really loyal to these two that kind of really transformed my life, and I kind of betrayed them, but at the same time, I don't want to be under house arrest. I want to see my little girl. I want to go do stuff. I'm gonna kind of like go back to living my life. So I thought that was a nice carrot to dangle over his head to say, hey, dude, you only got 3 days and then you're scot-free. But if you fuck up just one time, 20 years, bruh. 20 years.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, Follow Marvel in the chat was saying he thought it was better than the first. He felt it was more balanced compared to the first, probably because the movie didn't change hands as far as directors, writers, or, basically the whole Edgar Wright thing.
But I thought, whoever directed it, I thought Edgar Wright was the director all along for the first one.
No, it was creative differences, and he left the project.
Yeah, but
Edgar Wright wanted to do. He wanted to do the first one. He was going to do the first.
He was going to. He was in the lead. They had everything.
Then who was the one that did the first Ant-Man?
The second guy, the same guy that did the second movie. I believe.
Right. That's okay. I forget his name, but whoever he is,
the same guy that directed after Edgar Wright did the second.
Yeah.
Right. But I guess I thought there was nothing done on Ant-Man. And the second guy, or the guy that they brought on board, did the whole movie. So I guess I'm confused by the whole directorial. Peyton Reed. I thought he did the entire movie. I didn't think there was any.
Edgar Wright had kind of started some stuff, because remember the first teaser was directed by him.
Right. So I remember that.
Some of the stuff he put in there was still in there.
Right. Some of the script was still in there, but they added more to it. So some of his bits and parts of the script was in there, and some of his the way he shot compositions were in there, but it didn't go as far as that. And that's where Peyton Reed came in and finished everything out on it.
Yep.
Okay.
But all in all, like I said, I had no problem with Hope being
me neither.
A better character, or better at the pin particle manipulation and fighting than him, because like Super Nerd and Dido said, she's the one that trained him in the first movie anyway.
Exactly.
So it's like the teacher's always going to be better than the student.
But think about it though. He's an ex-convict. Like, you think he would, like, he's the electrician and a criminal, like, still, like, you think you know how to fight like her?
I don't think he necessarily he'd know how to fight like that. I mean, as far as like really being able to take down like multiple enemies, I don't think so. But Hope, on the other hand, who was trained by her ex super spy father and mother, well, more father, and she's been training for for decades. Yeah, I think it becomes more naturally for her. That it just makes more sense.
But even so, like, even in the comic books, like, I didn't really get hip to Scott Lang till actually when he died in the Disassembled Avengers books. I always knew about Hank Pym, but I knew nothing about Scott Lang. I said, oh shit, Scott Lang, but now he's dead now. So I don't really. So for me, it's like I don't really know much. I know about him now, obviously, but before that, prior to that, I didn't see him as a huge superhero anyway. He was just a criminal that got off on one, and that was it. So I don't really see him as being a big superstar. Because of now, because they got Paul Rudd playing him, and that makes more sense. But if he was just a regular person, they pick somebody else, it wouldn't fit, because they're trying to make it serious, and I don't know the character's backstory to be that serious or not. So to make him funny using Paul Rudd works, and making him not being this super spy or fighter or whatever, it works well. So I can see that.
Okay.
I don't know nothing about the comic books in that aspect, but in my honest opinion, when it comes to movies, it shouldn't have to be, because and I said this a million times, all comic book readers know there's a million different universes. This is one universe that's not in the comic books. So, he is how he is, and I enjoy what they do, and I hope they continue this route. I'm pissed off that I got to wait till March to see the next Marvel movie. I mean, technically, Venom
is already in edits, though. They said,
man, I don't even. Can we not mention Venom, please? Like,
I'm just saying,
gonna be trash,
I know
dude.
It's not technically a Marvel movie. I know.
It's gonna be trash. That's why I don't want to. I don't want to mention it, because it's gonna be trash. That's why.
Well, I can't say it's gonna be trash yet, because I haven't seen it. I'll tell you after I watched it if it's gonna be trash or not. I don't know. But,
it's Sony, man.
You could say that, but that's what people said about Solo, and Solo wasn't trash.
Touche.
So it's just you wait until you wait.
I'm gonna go see Venom anyway. I'm not saying I'm not gonna. Yeah.
And then we'll make our opinion. But I want to see the continuation of this storyline of what's going on in Marvel right now.
Yeah, me too.
Wait till Miss Marvel, which is probably not going to tell you
Captain
anything.
Marvel.
Captain Marvel.
Get it right and pay the price.
Yeah, put some respect on her name.
I put a respect on her name. She's Captain Marvel. Not going to see anything till Captain Marvel, which we're going to get the slightest little bit in Avengers next year.
Right.
Oh no, Captain Marvel. I think Captain Marvel is going to dump right into Avengers 4.
I hope so, man.
It's gonna have to, because it's like, if it takes place in the 80s and it's her, her whole story,
90s.
And you get the 90s, and then you get to her whole story, then all of a sudden it's like, okay, you can't just suddenly end it where it's in the 90s still. You got to bring it up to like butt it up against Infinity War somehow.
Right.
So they're gonna do something, because again, when have they ever really failed?
Well, they haven't, but some people claim, like, there's a person that we know We all know, we're all acquaintance of this guy, and he thinks that The Avengers was the worst Marvel movie that they've ever made. And
you know, you know what? What?
Personally, I don't understand how.
You said you didn't know who said that, Marcus?
No, I know who said it.
No, who said that?
Eric.
Is it acquaintance of ours? He says it's the worst Marvel movie. I'm like, but how? You're gonna have to tell me how. Because I don't understand.
I literally,
all fairness, everybody had their own opinion, so
I get that, but
it is what it
you
is.
have an opinion about something, you're able to write a fucking soliloquy about it. You're able to say what you don't like about it.
I don't think he's ever explained why.
I go to a goddamn restaurant and I order some motherfucking chicken, and the chicken tastes like fucking shit. I can tell you I don't like this chicken because it tastes like shit. And the shit that they made it, they didn't cook it well. It was fucking bleeding. It didn't have any freaking spice in it. You can explain these things. If you can't explain it, I don't know what the hell you saw. I don't know why.
Take him to church.
Tell me why.
Take him to church.
I'm saying you have to say something.
Yeah, here's my takedown for anybody that uses that there weren't stakes or that they have other movies announced as part of their review means that, like, okay, you're judging it on outside criteria that doesn't count. You have to judge what's on the screen, not advanced knowledge that you have based on, social media and obviously the internet and the way things work today. Because it's like, for example, if you went back in 1986 and we were all watching Transformers the movie, you can't suddenly say that Transformers the movie has no stakes because we find out, a year later, Optimus Prime is coming back in the TV show, because nobody knew that at the time. At the time, you had the movie and Optimus Prime was dead. So I don't like when people try to say as part of their reviews, oh, the stakes weren't really real, because it's like, no, judge it on what is on the screen. You can't say that, because you know that, yes, Spider-Man 2 is coming and Black Panther is the highest domestically grossing comic book film, that they're going to do another one. Of course, obviously we know that, but what's on the screen is what's on the screen. And if your review includes, oh, well, there's another movie announced, then that means your review is basically bullshit to me, because you cannot objectively judge what you watched. You have to rely on outside information that doesn't count as part of the film.
And I agree. It's like you can't. I think that's the problem when having too much information, unfortunately, specifically for geeks. They don't look at just the film and talk about just the film. They try to pull every fucking thing into it and says, well, I don't like this movie because in the comic book issue 5475, he didn't say the word please or some bullshit. And I'm just like, who gives a shit?
That's a little much.
No, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Some of these guys out there are doing that shit. Well, they're trying to compare different mediums to different mediums. And granted, I find myself a little bit different in that way. And we're always going to go back to this one because of Resident Evil. Resident Evil 2, the movie that came out in the early 2000s, whenever it came out, starring Mike Epps and some other people, I was thinking, oh, shit, the trailer is showing stuff from the video game. The video game was freaking awesome. They actually got it. They're finally going to say, hey, they did this in the game. We're going to fucking replicate it in the movie. We're going to put a good movie out there. They didn't do it. And I'm like, you know what? It's a different medium. It's not going to be done the same. Not everybody that goes to see these things watches video games or plays video games or looks at comic books or all that stuff. And it's a different medium. It's this. This is the movie medium. This is the comic book medium. This is a video game medium. You have to look at every one as their own. And if you try to compare, you're going to be disappointed. That's going to happen. And if you call yourself somebody that loves video games or movies or comic books, and you want to see those in different mediums, you have to freaking watch it and look at it as is and stop trying to compare it to the other stuff. And I'm guilty of doing it too, because I still don't think that the Superman in the friggin' movies is Superman portrayed correctly. Yes, am I comparing it to the comic books? Am I comparing it to the TV shows and the cartoons that I saw? Yes, I am. And to me, that's just not Superman. Everybody else does Superman this way. They're not doing it that way. And I think they should do it that way. I get it. I understand. And I'm disappointed because I am doing that. So it's just, you have to, for some things, you just have to say, you know what? Comic book, movie, Do you like the movie based on its own merits? Yes. Okay. No. Okay. Just don't say I don't like the movies because it's not like the comic book.
That brother was in the pulpit as Tony.
Wasn't he though? I just had to let him run because damn.
What a collection plate! I gotta put a couple of dollars in there.
For real. For real. No, I hear you on that. But let's bring it back to the movie. Okay, so Ghost is a character. We know Ghost is and speaks a little bit to what Dido was talking about things being different. Ghost was not a female in the comic books. It was a male that was a techno thief. That the phasing wasn't a byproduct of an accident gone wrong in trying to replicate or gain access to the quantum realm. It was actually technology that he had that lets him phase through walls and stuff like that. But that's neither here nor there. I thought that Ghost as a character was actually incredibly tragic. The comic book nod in there was that she's the daughter of the Marvel Comics villain Egghead. Who obviously in the film died, trying to save her from the experiment or whatever.
Wait, that's
and
who that was?
Yeah, that's her father was Egghead.
I must miss that part.
Oh, you wouldn't have caught it because that was his. They used his actual real name. So,
okay.
But in true Shield fashion, Fury took her in, trained her as made her a weapon, and basically said, "You're an asset. I'm not gonna even worry about trying to fix you. I'm just gonna let you just whatever." So I thought she was, as villains go, she was very sympathetic. You can question her methods.
She was sympathetic to me because she was cute.
I knew he'd say that. But still,
the actress that played her was cute.
Yeah, she was.
I mean, I'm not going to deny that she wasn't attractive. That's great, but she was sympathetic because of what she was going through, not just because she was attractive. Come on, man. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I felt for her plight.
Leaving situation. I don't really care what she's going through.
Damn, this dude, heartless, dog. Just don't give a damn. But no, I thought I thought the twist of having Bill Foster be the one to kind of rat them out or rat them out to her in a way threw you for a loop, but you could also understand it because he had a little bit of an axe to grind with Hank Pym, and Hank Pym being kind of the asshole that he has been in the past. Kind of almost, and Mark and Super Nerd, you can speak to this. That kind of speaks to the way Hank Pym kind of was in the comics.
Exactly.
He was kind of he was an asshole, dude. He was, man. I mean,
and he was.
Yeah, they did.
And they did that very perfectly, saying how he did, and he pretty much was in charge of the project, and he didn't believe that he was on the project, so he fired him, whatever.
Right.
That's true fashion Hank Pym. And I still to this day, I still think that's the reason why they picked Scott Lang over Hank Pym, because he has more of a story. Because we all know Hank Pym's tragic past with abuse and whatnot, and that doesn't go well with Disney. So they kind of implement that into him being an asshole and him taking charge of things.
Could you imagine had they put in the whole Hank Pym was abusing Janet when she was younger, like in the Me Too era?
Dude,
in the hashtag
work.
Me Too era, bruh, that would have been trouble.
People would have snooped that information out so quick. Or they was blame on the pimp particles that made them crazy, which it did, but still, it would not
feminists
work.
everywhere, feminists everywhere would have been on their head.
It would not work. They
would have been on their head, dude.
I'm kind of glad. Actually, I'm glad because I don't like Hank Pym anyway, because he's a sucker for two reasons. He hits women, and secondly, he's a pussy and won't fight crime. He's I gotta stick to my science. I can't do this no more.
Look, man. Look, man. Stop, man. Look, stop. The way he was on Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes is not the way he was in the comic books, man.
No, he served a few times. He was like, I can't deal with this shit. He tried to kill himself a few times too.
Well, see, that's what the whole Yellow Jacket persona was all about. That was about him reveling in being a superhero. That's why he created that.
That's so corny, though. Actually. I gotta create another character so I can be strong. Like, shut up. I don't hear that shit.
So apparently she was in Ready Player One, Tomb Raider, and Game of Thrones.
She was in Ready Player One? Who
Yeah,
was she in Ready Player One?
She was the
Finale's Andor. Yeah, Finale's Andor. I guess that one evil agent that was tracking them down. The girl.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
And she was in Tomb Raider, the most recent Tomb Raider. So yeah, she's been doing some stuff.
I haven't watched that yet. I still haven't watched that. I need to watch that. Yeah, you know, Marcus Smith is saying he's like he really didn't consider her a villain, and I can understand the reasons why you wouldn't consider her a villain, and maybe that for me is partially why. And I know I'm on the fence with this. I actually did not like it more than Part 1. I like Part 1 better than this. Not saying that this one was bad, but I just felt like I enjoyed Part 1 a lot more. I had a lot more fun with Part 1, just as a total film. But you know, that's just me. I know they downplayed Scott's sidekicks a lot more in this one, and naturally so, or rightfully so, I think. But still, I still felt like Part 1 was better to me. But that's just me.
But come on, no, you got Walter Coggins, man. That's my guy. You didn't think he was
No, I thought Birch was cool as a foil, but he was never a real. To me, he was never a real serious threat.
I just wanted to say that because I like Walter Coggins as an actor.
Yeah, no, he was good.
Honestly,
he was good.
In all honesty, the movie didn't need a villain.
No, it didn't. I mean, does Ant-Man really have any major villains? Not really. None that I know of. Minus what, Serpent Society, I think. That was mostly Cap's villains. And
yeah. And that's the thing. It's like, you know, again, it runs into the same problem like with Arrow. It's like Arrow is garbage because he doesn't really have a rogues gallery to speak of. But he's
got to borrow from Batman all the freaking time. Yeah.
Exactly.
But I think that's always been, you know, one of the things. It's like Ant-Man works as a good supporting character and, you know, is telling this story. Because again, what greater villain is around right now except Thanos? So it's like you're going to tell a story that's going to butt up right against Infinity War. You ain't got a room for a villain right now because the entire
everybody pales in comparison. I get you.
Right, the entire universe is at stake right now. So no matter who you come up with, whatever, the snap's coming.
I'm glad you brought that up because I'm gonna move on to the next thing. How did we feel about that scene at the end of the film?
I kind of was expecting something, but I was like, okay, it's got to tie in. Everybody said it's going to tie in somehow, but that was a good tie-in. But
that's a tie-in.
That's a tie-in, big time. And I'm trying to figure out how they're gonna get him back from that. If y'all have seen it, yeah, get him out.
That's the thing. We don't know what's going on, but there's a video that's going on that I don't know when it came out. My brother freaking sent it to me, basically predicting that what was going to happen. He said that he was going to get stuck in a quantum verse, but they also think that the Avengers 4 is going to take place 10 years in the future, meaning 10 years go by from between it, and they're going to be doing some time traveling, mainly because you've seen these pictures on a set where they look like they're wearing the Avengers 1 stuff, but you got Tony with like grayish hair, and he's in a shield suit that has a shield logo on his arm. So
they've theorized that they're going to revisit events from the first Avengers film. There's all sorts of theories out there, and then again, with the time stone being in play, you can do all sorts of craziness because, you know, again, it's a comic book based film. I'm hoping that he gets out and finds out that his daughter vanished.
Well, I have one theory that one thing they didn't bring about, since, you know, because I think in what was it, the Mighty Avengers, at one point in his Pym particles, he actually built a lab inside of the Pym particles, like a whole pocket universe. So maybe if you do say it's 10 years later, maybe he builds a whole little pocket universe with a laboratory down there.
That's not Scott's forte. He doesn't.
It's not Scott's forte, right? But
he can't do that.
But you never know, because remember the quantum realm can make him think about crazy things if he's stuck down for 10 years. If that's the rumor that's going around, you know.
You know what? Fallen Marvel actually brings up one scene that I did want to talk about. The scene in the elementary school was absolutely hilarious.
That was funny.
That junk was funny. That was one of the funnier scenes I've seen in a while. It was really good. But here's my thing, my theory on the mid-credit scene. I was very surprised to see that all three of them died. I didn't think that Janet, you know, I thought Hope would stay alive. I thought maybe, you know, Hank and Janet probably would go. I didn't think all three of them would go. Because I was thinking that, you know, that Hope would be part of the Avengers, you know, in Avengers 4.
Well,
obviously we haven't seen her.
The credits. Well, I heard some credits that she was supposed to be in there, apparently.
Well, and here's my theory. My theory on this is that remember what Janice said about, you know, be careful not to get stuck in a time loop, because if you get stuck in a time vortex, we'll never be able to get you out. I'm thinking that Tony's going to.
I thought he said something about tardigrade.
No,
go to
it
the
was
tardigrade level because they'll eat you.
Yeah, well, that was those creatures.
That was the first thing. Yeah, that was the first thing she said.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
The thing right after that was the time vortex warning.
Yeah, it was the time vortex. So what I think is going to happen is that Tony's going to build something, find Scott in the quantum realm, maybe pull him out, and then both of them actually go through a time vortex. Because remember, Time Stone they have no access to. They don't have it. Right. They can't get to it. So only way they can actually do something is probably the time vortex itself. So maybe because I think in those scenes that you saw where they were back in the past interacting with the Avengers from the first Avengers movie, it was both Tony and Scott were interacting with them. So that's what I think is going to happen, is that he and Tony are going to go through the quantum realm, hit a time vortex, go into the past, and actually warn the Avengers about Thanos, maybe defeat the Chitauri, and go straight after Thanos after that. Maybe. I don't know.
Possibilities.
Yes.
Well, I do hear that, if you remember correctly, going back to the Avengers, Thanos knows who Tony Stark is. And one of the theories that was in that video has to do with time travel, because they do go back in time. They do meet Thanos. Tony Stark does. They said he didn't know who Iron Man was. He didn't know who he was when he had that the Iron Man on, but he knew who Tony Stark was because he mentioned him by name. So maybe that has something to do with it, that they do go through this.
Wait, but how would Tony not know who Thanos is?
Because that Tony didn't go back through time. It was a different Tony.
He hadn't gone back in time yet. Gotcha.
That Tony had gone back in time.
Gotcha.
Fair enough. Well, my theory coming out of that movie is mutants get introduced because of Ant-Man's quantum realm.
Exactly. That was my other thing too. Like, because they can use this as like a soft retcon, where they can wipe out some of the events that happened that were traumatic, including the fall of S.H.I.E.L.D., Civil War happening, all of that. Like, they can wipe all of that out, right? S.H.I.E.L.D. can be what it was, but they just root out all the Hydra elements within it because they know they're there. They can deprogram Bucky. Shoot, what are the things I think could happen because of all of that? I had a feeling that a lot of things that we thought, and because they maybe ended up going to another multiverse or something like that, then the X-Men and Fantastic Four and them get, reintroduced, or something happens where they mess with something and the quantum field triggers X genes or something. I don't know. They're gonna figure out some way to make this thing happen. Of course, pending the deal going through and everything. But I think they'll find a way to make this thing happen.
Damn stockholders.
I know, right? So that's our recap of Ant-Man and the Wasp. If you haven't seen it yet, you guys kind of really need to go see it. It was a very good film. It's worth your time and your money. All right, so Super Nerd actually sent me something that I kind of wanted to talk about. It was pretty interesting because since we're on Marvel, we can talk about this. It was put out by Screen Rant, but it's collected from things that MCU actors have said. It's 17 crazy rules Disney makes the MCU actors follow, and a lot of these are pretty interesting. So I'm gonna start with number 17, and we can start talking about it. Number 17 is something that we kind of knew about, but there's another aspect to it that we didn't know about. Number 17 is concerning fake scripts. We kind of knew there was fake scripts. I think that's standard nowadays with all the leaks and everything going on. But fake scripts and windowless rooms. At Seattle Comic-Con earlier this, I think it was just last month, Elizabeth Olsen, who plays Scarlet Witch, revealed some interesting things. She said, in order to read a full movie script, each actor must individually go into a dark windowless room without their cell phone and finish the reading in one sitting.
That's fair.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There's nothing wrong with that. They don't need to be leaking all this stuff because we've seen how much stuff Tom Holland can't freaking keep his mouth shut.
I don't think that's a cheap ploy, though. I think that's
no, man. I mean, look, that's staged. It's not.
Maybe it is.
It's staged.
Yeah.
Maybe it is.
Because that contract with the MCU is sealed tight. Mm-hmm. You do anything, you will be assassinated on the spot.
Oh, you know what? I hadn't thought about that. Fallen Marvel brought up that maybe Bill Foster might have something to do with it, or maybe even Carol might have something to do with Scott getting out. But we'll see. During the panel, also Paul Bettany said it was hard for him to read in that room because he has dyslexia. It took hours for him to read the Infinity War script, only to find out that his script wasn't entirely real. Some of it was fake. Some of it was fake.
That's messed up.
So apparently, and this is actually very good practice. Apparently, each script comes with fake items and endings to prevent actors from spoiling the movie. Now, Matt, how would you like to be a screenwriter, right? That's writing for Disney, and they say, "Hey, we think this part is excellent," and you throw out a bunch of red herrings and misgivings within your script that we can just mix and match and throw off some of the actors so that they don't go out and blab to the world. I think that's actually pretty good. Number 16, all MCU actors have to maintain the Disney image.
Fair enough. Makes sense.
It means they have to volunteer at children's hospitals, partake in charities, give back to the community, and always be someone that children can look up to. Which, I mean, honestly, there's really nothing wrong with that, in my opinion. Especially when you see some of them really love going to the children's hospitals dressed as with Chris Evans going as Captain America, or Tom Holland going as Spider-Man, or put it for DCEU where Gal Gadot just went to a children's hospital dressed as Wonder Woman, and people loved it. I think Henry Cavill did the same thing as Superman one time. I can't remember if he did that or not. But I know Robert Downey Jr. routinely does these kinds of things, but he just doesn't go as Iron Man. He just goes as himself because
you can't work that thing.
When you're as awesome as RDJ is, you don't need to fake the funk and say I'm Iron Man. He's like, no, dude, I'm me. You know who I am. Number 15 says there's absolutely no creative control for the actors. So you know how some actors love to put their 2 cents in on certain films. Disney ain't having it.
That's not entirely true, because a lot of scenes get improvised and they get put in the final cut. So I don't believe that one.
Okay, well it says, this is how they explain it. Most actors have significant creative control over their movies, and that part is very true. There's so many people wanting to be in Marvel movies that Disney can simply replace the actors that don't agree with their creative vision, which is also true. I think is always happened, and some people have said that this is exactly why Edward Norton was replaced as Bruce Banner in favor of Mark Ruffalo. So I can kind of see it, but
I get that. I'm saying from the sense of during filming, because during filming there's a lot of improv that goes on, depending, especially with you got a Paul Rudd or a Robert Downey Jr. or somebody that's good at that type of thing. I think from the sense of what you were saying with Edward Norton, they don't kowtow to that, because why should they? Edward Norton wanted to make Hulk more of a main character, and it's dude, we're about to do the Infinity War down the line. Shut the hell up and get in your lane. It's I think that's part of the reason that they do that, because it's look, and it even goes back to what was said in Winter Soldier. It's Nick Fury was I believe in compartmentalization. nobody can spill everything because nobody knows everything. So it's like you got Kevin Feige at top that knows what the long game is. It's like, dude, y'all just we're making money. Sit down and do your job.
Right, fair enough.
All right, well, here's one that actually might ruffle some feathers and make people feel a certain way about maybe the impending Fox Disney deal. Our number 14 says R-rated content is reserved for Marvel TV shows. The MCU, of course, is known for light comedy, while the DCEU is known for its more darker tone. And that's probably because Disney strictly restricts the use of R-rated content in their movies. After the tremendous success of Deadpool, many people thought that some superhero movies would be more inclined to take on mature content. And I feel like that and, you know, Logan being R-rated, I felt like, you know, people were getting a little too, what's the word I can use? They were expecting a little much. Because while there are certain characters that, have some R-rated content, the vast majority of them really don't. The vast majority of them don't. They just don't. They're not built for that. Not everybody is supposed to be or needs to be R-rated. You know, you can keep it for the characters that actually need that. You know, like a Deadpool, like a Wolverine, like a Batman, a Punisher, or a Moon Knight if they chose to make one. The studio, they're saying maybe the studio is probably going to end up doing even mature rated content when it goes to the streaming service that they're launching, and all the MCU movies are going to be for all ages. Now, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that strategy because to date they've made over $10 billion in the box office with MCU movies. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Really,
They've made over 15.
So
is it 15? Was that the number 15? Sorry.
So what you're saying is that when the merger happens, if it happens, which so far it looks like it's going to happen, Deadpool won't be part of the MCU.
No. That's not what we're saying. They're saying that Deadpool movies
rated R, and MCU won't be rated R.
I think what they're saying is that there's a lot of people that are afraid that Deadpool movies will completely go away, or if they don't go away, he'll be neutered down to PG-13. It's not like, you know, Ryan Reynolds couldn't make that work, but, you know, Deadpool works best the way he has been, is being completely off the wall, raunchy, you know, R-rated.
He'll get one fuck.
I mean,
they'll probably bleep it out.
But, you know, Disney has, you know, a multitude of subsidiaries like Miramax. I mean, I can't see this actually standing. You know, if the X-Men come over, will they be PG-13? More likely. But if they want to continue the success of Deadpool and they have to make that one R-rated, make it fucking R-rated. You know, just put it under another film label. I don't see what the problem is. I just don't get it. I don't understand. That's just me. What's your comment on that, GQ?
GQ stepped out to a minute.
Oh, he did? Okay. Damn. Yeah. Every time I get ready to turn to him, he end up walking away for some reason. Damn. All right, moving right along. So number 13, MCU movies release dates cannot coincide with other Disney franchises. I mean that's kind of a general common sense type of rule. Yeah. Don't you think?
They must have put that one in there because if you guys remember in May, remember how Avengers, Solo, and what else that was Disney-esque was supposed to be coming out all the same month.
Mm-hmm.
And they had to change that because one was going to be stepping on the other one's toes, which probably still happened. Solo,
not as much though. Not as much because it was Black Panther.
No, Black Panther was coming out February.
I understand that, but
Solo and was coming out the same month.
But still, though, it was still, you know, they had movies coming out around that time, though. So even though Solo came out a month after, or a couple weeks after, right?
Yeah, it did, like 3 weeks.
Right.
Yeah,
so
like 3 weeks later.
I mean, they still gonna make their money with no big issue. I think they're talking about mostly if it come inside this like same time. Like let's say Avengers came out this Friday and then next Friday, you know, then it'd probably be a problem.
You can't have that at all.
Yeah, you can't have that, right? So that's why they probably did it 3 weeks later, so everybody can see it already and they can jump onto this movie and you know watch it for another 3 or 4 weeks or whatever. So I can see that. Like I said, it's common sense.
Yeah,
that's just smart marketing.
Right. All right. So number 12. Actually, excuse me. Yeah, number 12 is one that really shouldn't surprise anyone. Number 12 says, wherever you are, you must come back for reshoots. I mean, it doesn't. I mean, absolutely, it's in there during a Telegraph or during an interview with the Telegraph, which is a British newspaper. Idris Elba, you know, revealed that MCU actors are required to return for MCU movie reshoots, no matter where they are or what they're doing. Like, they got you locked. While spending months in South Africa filming Mandela: A Long Walk to Freedom, a movie that was near and dear to his heart, Elba was called back to Asgard to do reshoots for Thor 2. He told the Telegraph at the time, quote, "I was like, this is torture, man. I don't want to do this. My agent said, you have to. It's part of the deal."
Damn. Brutal. You gotta do it. You gotta do it. Hey, I mean, I know they do long hours doing those movie sets. You know, I've been on movie sets before, and that shit is long. You could do a scene. It might take an hour or two, then you don't do nothing for like 3 or 4 hours after that. No, excuse me. I'll take it back. You could do a scene, it may take like 30, 40 minutes. And then the next thing you might be, they got to set up. It might take an hour or two for that to set up. So you're just sitting around majority of the time. So it can get a little crazy. It can get crazy just sitting on set, not doing anything for a while while the crew sets up the next shot. And, you know, they got to change wardrobes and do this and do that. So I can see that. He probably won't do the whole heavy armor that he was wearing. So I get what he's saying. But like I said, you got to do that contract. You got to do it.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, when you make that money, this
I don't know
this is what it's all about.
If you're making millions of dollars, man, quit complaining. You got people out there making $8.75 a goddamn hour, and they got freaking clean, you know, fucking, you know, toilets and shit. So just fucking make that money.
Shit.
Yeah,
make that money.
So number 11 is no smoking in MCU movies. The only exception to the ban is if smoking was part of the historical background of a real life person. Like, literally, this is something I think Disney has this edict to follow for all of their movies. Like, all of them. Like, for every PG-13 movie, you ain't gonna see smoking, period, at all. It's not gonna happen. Doesn't matter who it is, whether it be Marvel, Lucasfilm, Pixar, really no smoking.
Yeah, I don't care about that either.
Most people aren't going to really care about that.
People did a lot of smoking back then because that made them look cool. And you know how cool they are when they got huffing and puffing out of their albuterols and they got their friggin' oxygen tanks. They look so fucking cool.
Yeah,
so I don't really give a shit about that.
That's whack. That's wiggity whack, son.
Wiggity whack, son.
This is also something that stands that's put in the common sense column. Number 10 says Avengers cannot perform all of their own dangerous stunts. Because you remember on Instagram before when he was cast as Spider-Man, remember you saw them Instagram videos of Tom Holland doing a bunch of flips and like parkour tricks and stuff like that. Like, you know, he actually looked like he was pretty good. Like he could do his own shit. Like he could legit move around like Spider-Man himself. Well, when asked if he did his own stunts in Homecoming, Tom Holland said, "I quote, I did as many of the stunts as I could, but there are some things legally that I couldn't do." I mean, that's honestly, that makes sense. So
you're not going to shut down a whole production because an actor broke their foot or something, because that's just ridiculous. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money you're losing. So
insurance costs for actors are extremely high. Like, remember, I mean, even today, I think there was a video put out there. Clooney was filming a movie, and it showed like there was an accident that happened. He went flying off of his motorbike. Like, can you imagine the insurance liabilities if he hurt himself on that film, dude.
Well, not even just the insurance liabilities, the amount of lost days of production.
That too. That
That's
could kill the film
automatically.
Yeah. That could kill a film budget wise. Yeah, absolutely. Some actors like Chris Hemsworth and Chris Evans have been able to skirt the rule, but stunts usually are left with the professionals. Now, I wish Vegas Sean was here right now to talk about rule number 9. Number 9 is strict gymming and diet rules, and I hate the way they actually worded that. Strict gymming, like strict gymming and diet rules, whatever. If you're going to play a Greek god or a physically perfect experiment, then you better look the part. Therefore, MCU actors must go through intense training and dieting to maintain their figure and keep their role. However, this training isn't a typical gym routine. After filming the first Avengers, Chris Evans says, "This was different. I'd be like, I need to vomit. I hate this trainer. I hate this movie. Working out sucked. Eating sucked more. You get to a point where you just can't even look at another piece of chicken."
So
you can't even look. You can't even look at another piece of chicken.
Not do his. Because Killmonger seemed to come out a little bit stronger looking than
he sure did. Sure did. MCU actors clock in 2 hours a day at the gym and follow a strict diet of boiled chicken and dried oats. What?
Jeez.
What?
Is that what they really do?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Hey, listen, nobody eat no damn boiled chicken.
Boiled chicken and dried oats. Like what?
I'm not having that.
He was eating his fruits and berries.
Right.
Like, what the heck, dude?
Really?
Chicken and ground oats.
Yo,
I know somebody who would enjoy that almost every day.
Yeah.
Not
me. Not me. I mean, even though I probably should try and go on a diet of boiled chicken and dry oats. Like,
listen, I ain't no goddamn boiled chicken. I'll tell you that right now. Well, listen, like I've boiled a chicken before. It has no taste.
I know, man. Hey, man, but you know what you can do? Maybe you might be able to get away with putting some Mrs. Dash on that boy. After the fact,
soup out of it. I mean,
put some umami on that.
Maybe. MCU number 8 says MCU actors must say yes to any MCU franchise appearances. So, like, you can't just stick to your own film. You got to go into other people's films. Like, you must do it. Each actor signed a contract that determines how many movies they will be a part of. For example, we know that Chris Evans is contractually obliged to play Captain America until Avengers 4. Chadwick Boseman is signed on for 5 movies, and Tom Holland has a 6-film contract.
What the hell
did you get him?
Jack?
So far,
did you get him?
3.
What's that?
so far, he's been in 3 out of 5. Okay,
right.
Trying to fuck up these goddamn flying assholes. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So he doesn't have to do any more. So after a little while, he doesn't have to do any more Wakanda forever.
Now, he says, however, it goes on to say, however, the actors don't just sign on to be in these movies, they also sign a contract to be a part of the entire Marvel franchise. This means that each actor must appear in the MCU whenever they are asked, as long as they have a standing contract, even if it's just for a 3-second cameo. So that almost makes you think that the 5 films don't include, like, the cameos that they're in.
Of course not.
So, I mean, but some people were trying to actually count those cameos, but they shouldn't. I mean, like the throwaway sequence with Chris Evans in Thor Ragnarok. I mean, not Ragnarok, The Dark World. Yeah, when Loki turned into him. You can't really count that. You can't really count his turn as Captain America in Spider-Man: Homecoming. I mean,
but the actor had to do it though.
Yeah,
they just didn't get they just didn't get no random, person to put his face on him.
Right.
I look at it this way. It's like you I think it was said in the chat. Matter of fact, yes, Paula Marvel said it. You sign that contract, you got to abide by it. So it is what it is. Like Dido said, you're getting paid an insane amount of money to play these characters, to do these roles. So it's like, suck it up.
Really, that's awesome.
I hear you. I can deal with that. Sharita Jackson says Solo just sucked, and she's wrong. She's wrong.
I'm sorry, Sharita Jackson. You're
suck.
wrong. You're talking
wrong.
about Solo sucking. I don't even understand what eyeballs you got in your head. Because your eyeballs obviously.
Like Dido and I saw it. We're sitting right next to each other.
No, man. I'm sorry. No, look. I get everybody has their opinion, but don't just come out here and say it sucked. Explain it. I want freaking goddamn chapter 1, 2, and 3. Why did it suck? Did the freaking acting suck? Did the setting suck? Did freaking Han Solo suck? Did Woody Harrelson suck? Did Childish Gambino suck? Tell me why. Was it the freaking robot that sucked? Was it the action scenes that sucked? You can explain yourself. You come out saying it sucked, I'm gonna fucking confront you about it. I want some fucking answers. And until you can do that.
Damn, G was holding it down. What you doing?
Sorry, I'm tired. I'm tired of these fucking nerds out here. I'm a nerd. I'm gonna call it.
Wow, really?
These fucking nerds out here just blanketly throwing shit around.
So either way it goes, Lando's not a system. He's a man.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck Lando Calrissian. Uncle Tom, nigga.
Lando Calrissian.
Number seven. MCU actors must go international. Playing an Avenger or a Guardian of the Galaxy or a treacherous villain is basically a 24/7 job. Once the actors finish filming, their job isn't done. They simply pack their bags, get ready to strut their stuff on the red carpet or chat around the world at the global press conferences. I mean, honestly, this is another one of them. That's standard. Yeah, that's so standard.
I don't know. Chadwick Boseman, he look like he's sad as fuck.
He'll get over it.
Yeah. As long as that money keep rolling in. Hey, remember when Robert Downey Jr. was starting to say, I don't know if I'm gonna play Iron Man anymore, and then Disney backed up that truck to his house and started dumping a shitload of money on his crib. He was like, "Hey man, I'm Tony Stark forever, dude. What you talking about?
Exactly.
What you talking about?"
Let's be real. It's like you signed on to play a character that not only does it make money, but it's like it speaks to like children around the world. So guess what? You got work to do, and that's all part of the signing on the dotted line.
Basically, the MCU movies are one big omnibus, a big ass omnibus. You want to think about it because, like you said, they signed that contract to do this whole storyline plot build up, and damn it, you better do it. They told them beforehand, this is what it's gonna be. This is who's gonna be in it. Bam. So get to doing it. Shut up.
Yep.
I don't know. I just get tired of hearing all these people who make millions of dollars for doing their job complaining about shit. Now, I realize everybody has their ups and downs, their lefts and rights, and all that good stuff about their life. But, man, I'm sorry. If I'm being compensated more money than most people would ever see in their lifetime, that's probably enough to get me to shut up and do my job. Seriously.
So you're talking about Hugo Weaving and Natalie Portman?
Oh yeah, that right there. Whenever I hear any celebrity who is getting paid millions of dollars, it just bothers me. Like I said, I get why they complain because they're a human being. They feel whatever's going on they don't like. They want to talk about it. I get it. I understand. But you put 2, 3, 4, 20, whatever $1 million in my bank. And I'm like, you know what? It's not that bad because I'm not out here on my knees in the dark alley doing something that I don't want to do. I'm out here doing a job that you want to do, and it's entertaining people, and you're getting compensated a lot of money to do it.
Did Dido just really make a reference to doing something strange for a little bit of change? I don't believe you.
It's pretty good, man.
I made a reference. Said I'm not doing that stuff. They're not doing it either.
I understand that, but I just think that's hilarious because you worked that in there. That was awesome.
It's just humans are humans. I get it. It's just come on, man. Like I said, $8 an hour, somebody fucking cleaning out fucking fried chicken pits and shit.
You know what? I bet if Chadwick would have taken a percentage of that Black Panther money, he'd have been saying Wakanda forever everywhere he went.
With a big ass smile on his face. Like,
yeah. If he would have got 5% on the gross, man, like, dude, I'll say Wakanda forever, like everywhere.
Yo, man. Yeah, be like this, GQ. GQ, be like this. What did Cleo McDowell say to Lisa?
No, he has his own money.
But he has his own money.
Even my dog think that's some bullshit. Make that money.
Right. Exactly. Right. Right. All right. So
like, how you gonna be like, no, I'm tired of this.
I'm tired of this. I'm tired of making money.
Biggest comic book movies of all time.
All time. You gonna say I'm tired of making money
with a black lead, and you talking about you? Shut up.
I'm tired of making money. Shut up. Anyway,
all my life.
So let's trade places, Chadwick. You want to trade? I mean, granted, I'm light skinned. They won't take me seriously as somebody from Africa because I got too much damn cream in my fucking coffee. I can't do the Wakanda forever like that. But you know, with a goddamn smile, give me that Wakanda forever. What? Hey,
Yes, Wakanda forever.
Whatever. On it.
Right.
That's right.
So
that's right.
Sharita gave a thumbs up. I'm assuming that she just saw or just heard Dido's long diatribe against her or whatever. Just gave a thumbs up.
Hey, ain't no hate. It's all love, man. But I'm tired of the fucking nerds and the blanket statements. That shit is bothering the fuck out of me. You know, it's getting on my goddamn nerves. You like something, say why you don't like it to a T. Don't you go, oh, it sucks. Why? Why does it suck? That's just basically my thing. I can explain. I'm just saying, I can explain why you like something. You can explain why you don't like something, and that's basically how I see it.
You like that reference, huh?
Yeah, I like that reference. I'm all about that. You tell him, Steve Dave. I'm all about that, man. You know that, man.
Never ever I trust a guy that had two first names.
All right. All right. So moving on down the list, we're getting near the top 5. So number 6, every actor must go through a background check. I mean, what is it? I mean, these are standard procedure type things. Come on now. Like you expect come on, man. Really?
I didn't know.
I got a pocket ticket in 1996.
No, I think they're talking about a whole different type of background check. Because again, Disney is a multinational corporation.
Yeah, you got no skeletons in your closet,
right? And they are looking at is you are representing us.
Mm-hmm. It goes a little bit
to you.
Yeah, it goes a little bit deeper, like you said. Tom Von Lawler said that he underwent a background check, a thorough one, before even being allowed to play Ebony Maw. With social media, there's so much potential for leaks. So Marvel understandably wants to micromanage things and make sure it goes out when they are ready. They didn't know me, so when I went over, they were meeting me for the first time. They do background checks to make sure you're not a white supremacist and they're not hiring someone with weird baggage. Which honestly, that makes sense.
I mean, that's make bad news. Like you want to be caught in a damn porn store and you know, at the dollar show, like, damn, sorry, I was dehydrated. My pants are on my ankles. I mean, shit.
Right. Like Vanessa Williams circa 1981 in the Miss America pageant when she got stripped of her crown because she was in Penthouse. Yeah, because she was in Penthouse. Yeah. That was still wrong, by the way. Anyway. Let's see. Number 5. Top 5. Disney references throughout MCU movies. Now that Marvel is part of the Disney family, I mean, the company is using MCU movies to promote its other franchises. Ultron singing Pinocchio's I've Got No Strings was the start of the MCU Disney merger, and since then, the MCU has featured many Disney Easter eggs. Disney also has the final say on any Easter eggs added to the movies. For example, they overruled a Captain America Easter egg that was intended to be featured in Infinity War. Wonder why. Wonder why. According to the Russo brothers, Steve Rogers' phone number in the movie was originally meant to be a real number. That movie. Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember they were going to do that. Steve Rogers' phone number that Tony was calling was going to be a real number that movie watchers could call, but the number would lead to a voice message left by Steve himself. Which that honestly, that would have been really cool had they left that in. I thought that would have been pretty cool. Like, remember what was that that super popular song 867-5309.
Jenny.
Yeah.
Remember Mike Jones did it too. It was actually him picking up the phone, but
okay.
Remember Mike Jones? Who?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He actually said his number and he said he actually answered the phone, which kind of weird, but whatever.
Right. All right. So number 4 is no beheadings allowed in Disney movies.
Man, that's common sense.
Yeah, along with no smoking in any movie. I mean, it's not necessarily common sense, but I mean, I can see it. Disney also has
wait. no beheadings. That's a lie.
Who got beheaded?
Go back to Thor Ragnarok. Heimdall's getting chased through the woods. He decapitated 2 of them things chasing him, and the tree that got in the way. So sorry, that's wrong.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah, you got a memory like a motherfucker.
Yeah, he's got. Yeah. So that one, all right. That one's been debunked. That makes sense. That makes sense. That one's been debunked. So we won't waste time on that one. Number 3, MCU actors are at the beckoning call of toy companies. Not only are MCU actors at the beckoning call of the MCU or the Disney franchises, but they must also report to any of the company's outside vendors. This is how it's possible for children to play with the Hulk action figures or a life-size replica of the Infinity Gauntlet. Whenever one of these vendors needs to put an actor in front of a green screen for a toy, video game, or product, the MCU gladly pimps them out. And that also is kind of like a no-brainer.
I mean, if they got a good agent, they get part of that merchandising money.
Hell yeah.
There's nothing to complain about.
I want 50 G's and more, Chief.
Ooh, look at this. Look at this one. Now this is a good one. Number 2, and this is a big one, like I said. During a panel at the 2017 Supernova Comic-Con in Australia, native Australian MCU actor Chris Hemsworth revealed that it's illegal. It's illegal for Marvel actors to appear in DC movies.
I'm with that.
I don't even understand how that works.
So it's basically a non-compete clause.
Right.
But the other way around doesn't matter, I guess, because DC characters, as you may or may not
know.
But
their contract has run out. So
okay. I see what you're saying.
Their contract has run out. Legally, Lawrence Fishburne was not contracted to play Perry White at all. Like, he's not under contract.
No,
so,
okay.
So, but he's not going to be able to go back.
Is Chris? Which Chris is it? Chris Evans. Is he? When is he done with Captain America? Is it Avengers 4?
After
right?
Avengers 4.
Yeah.
Avengers
so
4.
you telling me he's going to be Batman? He's going to be next Batman?
He could, if he wanted to be. It would be weird as hell, but he could.
I don't think he wants to. I don't think he wants to do any more superhero
he'll be Cap. Like, he's so close to being. He's so synonymous with being Cap that people love him as Cap. Like, people forget that he was Johnny Storm at one time. Like, that's how synonymous he is with Captain America now. So he is Cap, and I don't think people are gonna
let that down.
Let that go. So if he appears as Batman, I just think it's just gonna be like, no.
Okay,
I just can't see that.
So basically, it's because we've gotten some DC, refugees come over to the MCU.
Refugees, I love that.
That's the best way to say it, because that's like escaping a third world country with some of them films.
Ooh, that's brutal. Ooh, that's brutal. Yeah.
So apparently, Lawrence Fishburne is not going to be doing any more DC stuff anytime soon.
Apparently, as long as he's under contract with Disney, he won't.
So Perry White. That's hilarious.
Well, even so, Lawrence Fishburne even said he's more of a Marvel guy anyway.
He's a Marvel guy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
I would be too.
Right. So it's like, hey, being Bill Foster is probably the greatest thing. Plus, he knows what the character is anyway because he's been reading the comic book since he was a kid. So he knows more about Marvel stuff anyway. So I commend him jumping ship ASAP.
Well, I mean, again, because nobody's reading papers anymore anyway. Apples ain't a nickel. Nobody cares about Batman taking on the Superman.
Right.
All right. So at the Ace Comic-Con, this is number 1. The infamous van and immediate shoots, and this is less of a rule. I don't know. Maybe it is a rule because maybe they've done it on numerous occasions. But at the Ace Comic-Con, Elizabeth Olsen revealed that the actors didn't know anything about Infinity War until they were all stuffed into a mysterious van and told everything at once. So later on, Sebastian Stan was also asked about the van and jokingly said that although he knew about the van, he didn't jump into it because he was raised better than that. After they were given details of the movie, the actors had mere seconds to shoot the scenes. Like, there was no preparation. They just said, "Get to work."
What van?
According to Tom Holland,
Bang Bros van.
Yeah. Ooh, stop. No, stop. According to Tom Holland, he didn't find out that he was turning to dust until Kevin Feige told him, and he immediately had to film his demise. Immediately.
Damn.
Wow.
So,
I think that works, though.
It does.
Yeah, it does.
It's emotional.
Yeah.
That's why he's like, I don't want to go.
Heck yeah. I think that really helps sell that scene. That's why, I mean, again, I even go back to Chris Nolan, the way he would do stuff with like the Joker in that one scene when he broke into the party and he gave both actors opposite directions. And that's why that scene felt so tense, because it was like he told Maggie Gyllenhaal, do not look at him. And he told Heath Ledger, you want to make her look at you. And that's why that scene feels so uncomfortable, because they got opposite directions of what they were supposed to do. So I like stuff like that.
I prefer Michael Caine jumped and he didn't know he was supposed to.
Right.
Hold on.
I love stuff like that.
Tony Young says Sutter's head got chopped off in Thor Ragnarok.
Whose head?
Surtur's head.
Surtur, I said his name.
That's also true. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I went and watched that scene because I pulled it up on Netflix real quick, and yeah, you do see Heimdall cut off two dudes' head and a tree at the same time. So,
yes, sir. So I think they might say blatant, ridiculous, like over the top beheading, but we've seen heads get cut off. So I don't know what you're talking about.
well, whatever.
All right. Well, see. In breaking news, I got some breaking news for you all. Actually, you know what? For this one, I think I'll put the fixed music on to read this one out for you. So here we go. A new Sky bid could mean that Comcast is backing down from the Disney Fox deal.
Good.
After setting off a bidding war, this is reported on comicbook.com right now. After setting off a bidding war with Disney last month, Comcast may be backing down in the battle over 21st Century Fox. Comcast just raised its offer for European pay TV giant Sky. Reported by Deadline, which is a reliable source in the industry, Comcast put forth a new bid of $34 billion for Sky just hours after 21st Century Fox raised its own bid for Sky to $32.5. Fox currently owns 39% of the European company and has been angling to purchase the remaining 61%. This newly increased bid from Comcast, as the company is said to be preparing a counteroffer for Fox itself in its long-running battle with Disney, but some analysts believe that the Sky offer is a signal that Comcast is walking away from the Disney Fox deal. You can, of course, read more on that at your own leisure, but I thought that was some pretty interesting news to share with you all. So what do you guys think about that?
So basically, Comcast is walking away like the infamous Spider-Man cover we threw his costume in a trash can.
I like that. Yeah, I like that.
We want Fox no more.
Right, no smoke. They don't want no smoke. But I'm still trying to figure out who this whole ass stockholder though.
Oh, the one that's suing.
It's not gonna make any.
That's not gonna make a difference.
Hey.
I don't think it's.
He's like, I don't want money.
So I mean, because literally, Comcast, by making this bid for Sky, I mean, if they were going to make any bid, you would think if they were going to make a bid, they would make a bid for Fox to increase their deal. But like this says, if they're just saying, okay, we're going to make a bid for this other thing, they don't have money to do both. So that probably means that they're just going to give up on Disney and Fox and just let it happen. Because the Fox board stockholder meeting is July 27th. That's next week. Or is it 2 weeks from there? That's 2 weeks from now. It's 2 weeks from now. It's 2 weeks from now.
Are you trying to rush Thanksgiving? You trying to rush the end of July?
Hey man, I'm ready for Christmas to get here, man. What can I say? Anyway, so yeah, Fox 21st,
please.
Yeah. July 27th is when it's is that stockholder meeting, and by then, if the whole lawsuit thing will more than likely be settled, and also we'll know probably that day whether or not Disney has won, and we can start dancing in the street or whatever.
Dancing in the street.
They already won. I don't know why people are even doubting this. It's like,
I don't either. I don't understand.
I'll put it this way: Disney has been playing long game. This is like one of the longest games of chess like ever
Right.
Like I have never in my lifetime heard of a studio taking over basically all of our entire childhood and owning it, and then just just constantly making money off of it and just moving things forward. So they're going to get Fox. I mean that's a given, because it's like if you just up and buy all of Star Wars, then you buy all of Marvel, and you're just cranking out movies, and then Fox comes around and you're about to ready to buy all of their entertainment properties. It's like that's insane.
Mm-hmm. More money.
Wait, did you guys talk about that RoboCop thing that Super Nerd was talking about?
Oh yeah, new RoboCop movie getting ready to come out. Yeah, no, we didn't talk about that. We've been talking about that real brief before we get out of here.
Neil Blomquist.
Now, there's the report that I saw said that it's not going to be the reboot. It's going to be similar to the way Halloween is like just ignoring all other reboots and sequels and going back to being a direct sequel of the original RoboCop movie. I think that's moving backwards. I don't really like that. I don't really like that move.
I love it because I'm gonna tell you why. RoboCop 3 sucked ass. Okay,
I mean that's fine.
The reboot, I didn't think it was that bad. It just wasn't.
I like the reboot.
As RoboCop.
I like the reboot a lot.
I like the reboot too. I'm not saying it was bad. I'm saying it didn't have the same feel. It wasn't like extremely violent. It didn't have the freaking commercial parodies in it. It wasn't. It didn't have the same tone. I'm not saying I didn't like it.
What I gotta tell you guys,
I think that they're trying to go for the tone of the original movie, maybe the second.
Listen. I done told you guys many a times. Cocaine wrote the movies in the 80s.
Hell yeah, cocaine.
Right?
That's why they ain't coming back.
That's right. You're not gonna get that same. No, it wasn't. Whoever wrote that did not write that. I don't know who the writer of RoboCop. Cocaine issued in a whole new era. Y'all don't understand. Cocaine wrote Total Recall. Cocaine wrote RoboCop. Cocaine wrote everything that we loved growing up. It wasn't these writers and directors. Cocaine did it.
You damn right though.
Yeah. So we're not gonna get that same thing in this one. Like, I mean, the director, I actually like the director. He does some cool things if you know his past of directing skills. Yeah, District 9 and what was the other movie he did? I can't think of the top.
Robot. What the hell is the name of that movie?
I can't remember. But he also did some mini sci-fi stuff too on YouTube as well. It was some cool stuff his team did. So I'm excited to see what he's gonna do with it. He's gonna put his spin on it, make it super futuristic, or he's gonna keep it somewhat like the original one, or who knows. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, that could be cool. In other news, something that I just saw on the internet before we get out of here, Shazam is confirmed to have a trailer coming out at San Diego Comic-Con next week. So for those of you, and did you guys see that picture of Shazam that came out today, where it looked like Shazam is next to? I mean, that
drinking the beer.
It's not a beer; it's a cola. Actually, it's a pop, because they had to clean it up for the kids, because in the original comic book, the backup to those Justice League issues, it was a beer that he was drinking with Freddie Freeman. But of course they wanted to clean this up for the kids, so they turned it into buying a cola, which kind of loses its weight. I kind of wish they had almost kept it as a beer, being like a, something that a kid that finds himself thrust into an adult body would probably end up doing. You mean literally? That's like one of the first things they try and do is act out like an adult and do some shit that an adult would do.
Like in Big.
Exactly like in Big. Seriously. Yeah, so there's that. But anyway, guys, we're gonna go ahead and get ready to get out of here. We had a great time talking about Ant-Man and the Wasp and some of these rules that MCU actors have to adhere to, even though some of them end up not being true, like the decapitation one. So there is obviously, we're gonna be back again next week, Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central Time. Next week will be right in the midst of San Diego Comic-Con itself, or getting ready for it, I should say. So we'll probably be talking a little bit about that and some of the other things that are getting ready to come out from that awesome convention. Any final thoughts before we get out of here, guys?
Not really.
All right,
Everything's
y'all.
good, man. Yeah, we out here. That was kind of a weak ending, but you know, you want to spruce it up on our outro. Go right ahead.
Right. So anyway, y'all, for my boys GQ, Grey Datakuji, and Super Nerd Plus, I'm your boy Kenshiro. We'll see you all right here next week. Peace out.
Peace out. As they say in Canada, peace out.
So make sure you guys still
really
tune in. If you're a culture junkie, tune into our channels, watch our shows, freaking make sure that you are out there sharing our stuff, because we can only get bigger if you guys, you know, are out there supporting us. And I love all of you.
Follow us on Instagram too, social media stuff. You can follow us Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, the YouTubes.
YouTubes.
The YouTubes.